Get ready to have your mind blown. Greetings, science fans. Here, and I am absolutely thrilled to dive into the world of wonder with you today. Science isn't just about labs and textbooks. It's about the extraordinary, the unexpected, and the downright astonishing phenomena that make up our universe. From the tiniest particles to the vastness of space, there are secrets just waiting to be uncovered. And trust me, some of them are truly unbelievable. Today, we're counting down 10 incredible scientific facts you probably didn't know. These are the kinds of facts that will make you look at the world a little differently, with a newfound sense of awe and curiosity. Before we jump in, I have a little challenge for you. As we go through our list, think about which fact will be the one to really make your jaw drop. Will it be something about the food you eat, the world around you, or even your own body? The universe is a pretty weird and wonderful place, and I can't wait to explore some of its most fascinating corners with you. So, buckle up your brain belts, because we're about to embark on a rapid-fire journey through some of the most amazing facts science has to offer. Let me know in the comments below which one you think will surprise you the most. Let's get started. Kicking off our countdown at number 10, let's talk about something you see every day: water. You know it as a liquid, you know it as ice, and you know it as steam. But did you know it can be all three at the same time? That's right, it's a phenomenon called the triple point. This isn't some science fiction trick, it's a real, observable state. At a very specific temperature, just a smidge above freezing at 0.01 degrees Celsius, and at a very specific low atmospheric pressure, water reaches a delicate equilibrium. In this unique state, the solid, liquid, and gaseous phases of water coexist in perfect harmony. You can literally see water boiling and freezing simultaneously in the same container. The molecules are so perfectly balanced that some are breaking free to become vapor, while others are locking into a solid ice structure, all while most remain in a liquid state. It's a mind-bending demonstration of how temperature and pressure are the puppet masters of matter, controlling its every move. Science is cool, isn't it? For our number 9 spot, we're blasting off into deep space to visit one of the most extreme objects in the cosmos, a neutron star. These are the collapsed cores of massive stars that have gone supernova. They are incredibly small, often no bigger than a city, but they are unbelievably dense. How dense, you ask? Well, imagine you had a special cosmic teaspoon and you could scoop up just a tiny bit of matter from a neutron star. That single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh about 6 billion tons. Let that sink in. That's the weight of about 900 Great Pyramids of Giza, or the entire human population, squeezed into a space the size of a sugar cube. The gravitational pull on the surface of a neutron star is so immense that it crushes atoms together, forcing protons and electrons to combine into neutrons. It's a place where the laws of physics are pushed to their absolute limits. So next time you stir your coffee, think about that. Coming in at number 8, let's look at a popular and healthy snack, the banana. It's packed with vitamins and minerals, especially potassium. But here's the surprising part. Because of that potassium, bananas are naturally radioactive. Now, before you start throwing out your fruit basket, don't panic. The dose of radiation is incredibly small and completely harmless. It all comes down to an isotope called potassium-40, which is a naturally occurring radioactive version of potassium. Every single banana contains a tiny amount of potassium-40. As this isotope decays, it releases a minuscule amount of radiation. The amount is so negligible that you would need to eat about 10 million bananas in one sitting to receive a radiation dose that could be considered harmful. In fact, you're exposed to more radiation just by living your everyday life from sources like the sun and the soil. So bananas are a great example of how radioactive doesn't always mean dangerous. It's all about the dose. Sticking with our potassium-rich friend for number 7, here's a fact that might make you see your fruit bowl in a whole new light. You, a complex human being capable of watching this video, share about 60% of your DNA with a banana. Yes, you heard that correctly. More than half of your genetic makeup is shared with that yellow crescent-shaped fruit. It seems unbelievable, but it's a fantastic illustration of our shared evolutionary history on Earth. So how is this possible? Well, many of our genes are responsible for fundamental cellular functions, like making enzymes, processing energy, and dividing cells. These are basic housekeeping genes that almost all living things, from people to plants, need to survive. So, while we obviously look and act very differently from a banana, deep down at the genetic level, we're using a lot of the same basic biological toolkit. It's a humbling reminder that all life on this planet is interconnected. For number 6, let's gaze up at the night sky. The Milky Way galaxy, our home, is filled with an estimated 100 to 400 billion stars. It's a number so vast it's hard to comprehend. But what if I told you there's something right here on our own planet that outnumbers them? I'm talking about trees. According to a study published in the journal Nature, scientists now estimate that there are over 3 trillion trees on Earth. That's right, 3 trillion. That's roughly 7.5 times more trees on our planet than there are stars in our galaxy. So how did they figure this out? Scientists used a combination of satellite imagery and on-the-ground tree counts from thousands of locations around the world. They created a model that could accurately predict tree density across the globe. So the next time you're standing in a forest, remember that you are surrounded by a population that dwarfs the stellar population of the entire Milky Way. It's a powerful perspective on the richness of life on Earth. At the halfway point, number 5 is a real head-scratcher that seems to defy logic. Hot water can, under certain circumstances, freeze faster than cold water. This phenomenon is known as the Mpemba effect, named after a Tanzanian student who observed it while making ice cream in the 1960s. He noticed his hot milk mixture froze before his classmates' cooler mixture. Initially dismissed by his teachers, his observation was later confirmed by physicists. Scientists are still debating the exact reason why this happens, but there are several leading theories. One idea is that hotter water evaporates more quickly, reducing the total volume of water that needs to freeze. Another theory suggests that hot water has fewer dissolved gases, which can slightly alter the freezing point. Other ideas involve convection currents and the properties of hydrogen bonds in the water. Whatever the cause, it's a fascinating paradox that shows even simple things like freezing water still hold scientific mysteries. For number 4, we're heading to Paris to look at one of the world's most famous landmarks, the Eiffel Tower. This iconic iron structure is not as static as it seems. In fact, during the hot summer months, the Eiffel Tower can grow taller by as much as 15 centimeters, or about 6 inches. Then, in the winter, it shrinks back down. So, what's going on? It's a classic principle of physics called thermal expansion. Almost all materials expand when they heat up and contract when they cool down. When the sun beats down on the iron lattice of the tower, the iron atoms gain energy, vibrate more, and push each other farther apart. This causes the entire structure to expand, primarily upwards. The reverse happens during the cold winter, causing it to shrink. It's a powerful, large-scale demonstration of a principle that affects everything from bridges and railway tracks to the thermometer on your wall. Diving under the sea for number 3, we meet one of the most intelligent and alien-like creatures in the ocean, the octopus. These masters of camouflage have blue, copper-based blood, and not 1, not 2, but 3 hearts. This isn't just a biological quirk, it's a highly efficient system designed for their unique lifestyle. 2 of the hearts are dedicated solely to pumping blood through the octopus's 2 gills. These 2 branchial hearts make sure the blood is thoroughly oxygenated. The third, larger systemic heart is then responsible for circulating that oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. Interestingly, this main heart actually stops beating when the octopus swims. Scientists believe this is why octopuses often prefer to crawl along the seabed rather than swim for long distances. Swimming is simply too exhausting for their heart. It's a remarkable evolutionary adaptation. Our runner-up at number 2 is a sweet treat with a truly timeless quality, honey. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are thousands of years old, and guess what? It's still perfectly edible. Honey is one of the very few foods that simply never spoils. Its incredible longevity is due to a unique combination of chemical properties that make it a terrible place for bacteria and other microorganisms to grow. First, honey is a sugar, and sugars are hygroscopic, meaning they contain very little water but can readily suck it in from their surroundings. This process dehydrates and kills any bacteria that try to make a home in it. Second, honey is extremely acidic. with a pH between 3 and 4.5, which is also inhospitable to most microbes. Finally, when bees produce honey, they add an enzyme called glucose oxidase. This enzyme helps create hydrogen peroxide, the same stuff you might use as a disinfectant, adding another layer of protection. It's nature's perfect preservative. And now, for our number one most incredible science fact, a truth that connects every single one of us to the cosmos. You are made of stardust. This isn't just a poetic phrase, it is a literal scientific fact. The very elements that make up your body, the carbon in your cells, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, were forged in the heart of a star billions of years ago. The Big Bang created the lightest elements, like hydrogen and helium, but nearly every other element on the periodic table was created through nuclear fusion inside stars. When massive stars reach the end of their lives, they explode in spectacular supernovas, scattering these newly formed, heavier elements across the universe. Over billions of years, these elements clump together to form new stars, planets, and eventually everything on Earth, including you. Every atom in your body, aside from the most ancient hydrogen, has been on an epic journey through space and time, cooked in a stellar furnace and blasted across the galaxy. You are a child of the cosmos. And there you have it. 10 mind-blowing scientific facts that prove our universe is more amazing than we can even imagine. From the triple point of water to the stardust in our veins, science reveals a world full of wonder and surprise. I'm genuinely curious. Which one of these facts caught you completely off guard? Was it the radioactive bananas, the growing Eiffel Tower, or the fact that you share DNA with one? Head down to the comments section right now and let me know which fact was your absolute favorite. I can't wait to read through your reactions and see which one surprised our community the most. If you enjoyed this journey through the wonders of science and want to explore more incredible truths about our world, please give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and allows us to create more content just like this for you. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on our next adventure into the unknown. We have so much more to explore together, and you won't want to miss a single moment. Thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing in this passion for discovery. Remember, the world is full of questions just waiting for answers, and the more we learn, the more we realize how much there is to know. Never stop being curious, never stop asking questions, and never lose that sense of wonder. Stay curious and see you next time.